man, we had a Macho King up there.
Oh my God, he was incredible.
A little overweight, but he was doing really good with the finger.
Well, he looks, he actually, present day, he looks better than what Macho Man.
When you're on a budget and you at your daughter's wedding, get you a case of Dr. Thunder.
Welcome to MD Arsenals. Stop by our store located in Hagerstown, Maryland, right off the I-70. Our range and shop hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 8, and Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 7. To find out more about our upcoming classes and other services, please visit our website, www.mdarsenal.com. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and watch for the upcoming MD Arsenal podcast.
Need portable displays for conventions and conferences, to home shows, parties, and DJ backdrops? ExpoNet USA provides the best pricing and service for all your printed branding and marketing needs. You've got a guy. Call Display J at 301-378-9363 or www.exponetusa.com. Also available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
People back together having fun.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 20-volt cordless power drill. I'm going to actually put it right here. Oh my God. It's stuck. I don't know what to do. It's stuck.
Reverse.
Reverse.
Hit that reverse button. I feel like that's a really good way to clear up a sinus infection.
You mirror, I could take you to the coast. We could just get on.
I come from a long, long way of putting people down.
Puts people down.
I put them on the ground when I body slam them from head on to their nose.
To the nose. He puts them down.
But I'm gonna show y'all, all y'all
Next
people.
time that we end up going through.
DisplayJ.com.
Trade show displays, step and repeat backdrops, pull-up banner stands, table throws, all your large printing needs. Call Display J at 301-378-9363. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
DisplayJ.com. Meet former WWE superstar and ECW original Nunzio live Saturday, July 7th.
This is the Podcast Pit, brought to you by Ben Media.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday morning. You know what that means. It is time to talk some wrestling. This is the Podcast Pit. I am your host, former professional wrestler, promoter of Voltage Wrestling, jack of all trades, master of what? I do not know, Mike Ratick. I am alongside my broadcast partner, Rennes, the Menace, Carbaugh. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Before we get started here, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported show. It's supported by people just like you. We give it to you each and every Saturday. Not getting anything out of my mic or hearing anything right now.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you guys hear us? Because I cannot.
There we go.
There we go.
There you are, Mike.
A little bit. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just get on with the meat and potatoes of the show here.
Yep.
We've heard for the last several weeks,
Yep.
EPPW is closing. They had their last show last night, headlined by a 30-minute Iron Man death match.
Oh, I didn't know it was a death match.
Apparently, it did not disappoint.
Yeah.
It did not disappoint.
And that was between...
That was Sickened and Eric Ekton. Two of our, two guys, Voltage Wrestling. They're they're killing it everywhere. They travel around and do their thing in many promotions here across the Panhandle and around the region, for that matter. But killed it. Sent the show off with a bang. We do hear Corey Bush retained his EPPW championship.
Yep.
So hats off to him. But
apparently a great show for EPPW's last showing.
Absolutely. The people there in Kearneysville, West Virginia, sent them out right.
Good.
Which is always good thing to see, especially here around the area. You never want to see a promotion go out of business. At the same time, when the unfortunate situation happens, it's always nice to see that fans show out to support them.
Yeah, EPPW has been kind of a staple in this area for the last 7 years.
Absolutely.
Providing that entertainment, providing the shows that they've provided. It's going to be sad to see them go. But
we hate to see you go, but we're glad you went out with a bang.
Yep.
Had a great last event, and hats off to Doken, Kano, Titan, and the rest of the people down at EPPW for a job well done over these last several years. We hate to see you go.
Yeah,
we do. We do,
and we wish you luck.
We do. We wish. This is what the podcast pit's for, to cover professional wrestling here around the Panhandle. We wish you luck on whatever you decide to do here going forward, and hopefully you're not disappearing from the wrestling business.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving along here. We've got some AEW news that we got to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of AEW.
A lot
stuff.
of AEW news. Waiting for the slide here to change.
There it is. It's there.
We go. AEW. Look at that. We're going to talk about the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan rumors.
Yeah.
Apparently, both signings are official at this point, from what we're hearing.
So they're rumored to be official. AEW has not come right out and say it. But in a media scrum with Tony Khan a couple days ago, someone asked, there were two questions asked about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, and the old, I can't comment on that situation right now. Typically when Tony has been out at these scrums and people have asked, has this person been signed? Has this person been signed? If they haven't, he has been able to say, no, we have not done business with them. We would be open to it, blah, blah, blah. This was a no
Flat
comment.
out, no comment.
Yeah.
Which makes you think something's up.
Something's up.
Something's up.
So, let's start with CM Punk. Because I think that return is actually more imminent than the Daniel Bryan one. I think CM Punk will be the first one. So on Dynamite the other night, a great Dynamite, they announced that, which we'll talk more about. We'll talk about the Nick Gage situation here in a little bit. But They announced that they'll be coming live. The first AEW Rampage will be coming from Chicago, Illinois, at the United. Is it the United Center?
The United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls, which
Right.
they are conveniently titling
The first
dance.
And if you paid attention to any of CM Punk's social media, I believe it was last week, about this time, he had put it was just a black screen, and it was a song that Michael Jordan used when he came back to the stadium. I mean, the first dance, the Michael Jordan thing, it's just...
And I can't believe, man, you're slipping up on your wrestling knowledge here.
Am I?
Oh, you are. See, so the song that he displayed on his Instagram, it was Serious by the Alan Parsons Project.
Right.
Now, I know all of our 90s kids out there associate this with the Chicago Bulls, but in fact, this was the official theme song of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at some point in time.
That's right.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't see it on any of the old footage anymore because of copyright laws.
Right, copyright. So, I mean, it's a 20-some thousand seat stadium, and they've already pre-sale yesterday. They sold 13,000 tickets. The 13,000 allotted for pre-sale yesterday are gone.
Yeah.
The rest of them will open up Monday, and I figure by the end of the week they will also probably be gone.
So a 23,000 seat arena in Chicago, Illinois.
CM Punk's hometown.
In the middle of Chicago, mind
there
you.
There were several references on Dynamite this week to Punk. Darby Allin said, "I'm here to fight. You know, I'm here. I can take on anyone, even the best in the world."
The MJF reference.
Yeah, he said. He said to Jericho, "Jericho, as you sit there in the middle of the ring, hopefully as in much pain as you can be," which is a paraphrased
reference.
Paraphrased direct reference to a direct reference to the infamous pipe bomb. Here's the deal,
Brian Carbaugh.
Here's the deal. If they don't bring back Punk at this point, they're done.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of references and everything to
There's
it.
been so many references to this at this point.
Yeah.
It's like everybody knows it's a foregone conclusion.
Right.
Or everybody thinks it's a foregone conclusion at this point. So if you don't deliver, it's going to be
It's gonna be a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal.
Which I also find, so this first Rampage in Chicago, Illinois is on August 20th, the day before SummerSlam in Las Vegas. Something tells me that the biggest story coming out of SummerSlam weekend is not going to be SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Unless something magnificent happens, something big happens, I don't see it happen. I mean, just if Punk makes his return that night, that will be the biggest story for the weekend.
Well, when is All Out that weekend? Is it?
No, All Out is in September.
Okay, so All Out's the Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
So they're back in Chicago Labor Day weekend.
Correct.
So they're doing the Rampage, and then they're coming back to Chicago with All
I have
Out.
a feeling that...
So we're going to get a money match. I feel like we're going to get a money match at All Out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Punk versus Darby at All Out.
Ooh.
I really think it'll be Punk versus Darby at All Out. I think the card for All Out, the three matches that I'm going to predict is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say something. What if Punk is Jericho's last labor?
Actually, I had some thought on that. I don't think Punk is Jericho's last labor.
You don't?
I think Paul White is Jericho's last labor.
Oh.
I think it could be... I mean, I think Punk is a good one. I think it could be Punk or Paul White to be the last labor of Jericho. So if you haven't been following along, there's been these 5 labors of Chris Jericho that MGF has been bringing out. I can't remember. The first one slips my mind because the last 2 have been huge.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Nick Gage thing, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later on here in the show.
And then he announced the 3rd labor of Jericho.
Juventud Guerrero.
Yeah. Who those 2 wrestled several times in WCW. That's old school. I mean, that's...
We're going back there. This is like 98 Chris Jericho, the king of loopholes.
Yep.
I I'll tell you, I know it won't happen. I would love to see Dean Malenko jump in on this.
Oh yeah.
And
I think Dean Malenko is a backstage producer for.
But I don't think
WWE
it's
right
now because I know
Right.
He's got Parkinson's.
That's
now,
right.
so
I
there's that.
totally. Thank you, Mike Fox. Sean Spears was the first labor. Thank you.
Well, there you go.
But then
we've got two more. We've got two more coming, and
know,
they've got to be
and
huge.
They've been getting bigger and bigger. I mean, each labor of Jericho has stepped up. I'm excited to. I mean, so let's go ahead and talk about this week's labor was
Nick Gage.
Nick Gage, the king of the U.S. king. I would say the king of U.S. death matches.
Yeah. So, before we do that, I wanted to bring up the Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Before we do that, I wanted to bring up New York.
Sorry, there was a lot of stuff going on this week with AEW.
So we have Daniel Bryan, who is also rumored to be under contract.
Right.
And the rumor is that he is going to be debuting in New York on September 22nd.
At Arthur Ashe Stadium.
At Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Which is what, another 23,000 seat stadium or something like
that?
Yeah,
it's something like I think it's like 18,000.
Yeah.
However,
pretty much sold out at this point almost.
A huge venue for AEW, especially after kind of getting blocked out of the two major wrestling venues in New York City, being Barclays Center and Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Basically, the only option they had at that point was doing the Hammerstein Ballroom or doing where they are now, which I'm sorry, I'm surprised that no other wrestling organization has stepped foot in this place, considering the proximity to public transportation and it's already a destination in New York City with Citi Field and the U.S. Open being there. This show is going to be a very big deal.
Yeah. I think, it's going to be another I think that's where you're right. I think that's where Daniel Bryan is going to.
I just read that last comment.
Yeah.
I can't mention them on the air. I'm trying to be nice, but they're too good.
Yeah.
They're too good. If you guys read the comments, you can see them. If you're not, you're missing out. Join us live on Saturday mornings. You get to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
But having said that, this whole thing here in New York City is going to be a big deal for a couple of reasons. They're going to have their own venue in the New York market, just like they have had in the Chicago market for quite some time. Now, I don't know if really the only other market that you need to get into and establish yourself is the LA market.
Right. I think that's next. I actually no, I take that back. I think they're going to go to Europe before they go to LA.
Yeah, honestly, I think LA is
a UK tour.
New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles are the three markets you need to establish yourself in. Yes. Well, here's and just for you guys who didn't hear in the background, LAJ had just mentioned the Great Western Forum. Great venue. I think they're tearing that down at this point. Yeah, I know the Clippers are about to build a state-of-the-art arena next to SoFi Stadium. So one of the big roadblocks in the way is purchasing the Great Western Forum from Madison Square Garden Group. That's already been done. It's now it's just building the arena at this point,
right?
Which is pretty much going to happen.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at the people on the Arthur Ashe Stadium graphic. I mean, it's a big card. Now, I've also I mentioned All Out a little earlier. There's also rumor that this past week on let's go ahead and talk about Dynamite.
Okay.
This past week, another great Dynamite did 1.1 million against the Olympics. Still the number one. It did a 0.45 in the 18 to 49 graphic, which was only 0.04 under Raw's 18 to 49
Creep it
demo.
Up.
And then they were still also the number one show on cable on Wednesday night against the Olympics. So that's a big deal for them. Lance Archer fought Haku's son. I can't remember for the New Japan Pro Wrestling U.S. Championship. He won at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence. It's going to be him versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the title. And the rumor is that Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to win it and face Jon Moxley at All Out. This is very like early rumors happening.
That's a huge deal, especially for American television.
Right, Hiroshi Tanahashi has carried that company on his back since he started there.
Yeah.
Like he is one of the people who brought
like
New
him,
Japan.
Okada.
Right, him. I mean, but he was even there before Okada.
Yeah,
like he's one of the guys who brought New Japan back
from all the Inokiism.
Yeah. So it's to have him be at All Out. I mean, like I said, this is very much a rumor at this point. There's nothing stating that this is definitely happening, but there's some rumors churning about the possibility of Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jon Moxley at All Out.
I want to touch on Mike Fox's comment too. Mike Fox mentioned Haku being on the Brawl.
Yeah,
wasn't it cool as shit to see the Tongan Death Grip get hooked on somebody?
Yeah,
yes.
Haku is probably one of the scariest wrestlers on earth. Still to this day,
I would not mess with that man.
No,
never.
The amount of stories that there are about him are insane. Like he is he's like one of the most legit, toughest wrestlers ever, if not the toughest professional wrestler ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with him.
No, even at this age, no way.
But seeing him on TV, once again was awesome, and seeing the Tongan Death Grip after so many years was a good time as well.
Right.
So,
we didn't touch on it last week because you and I were at the Legends of Hamburg event. Thunder Rosa is now All Elite. She is signed to AEW, which I think is a great get for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because she is an incredible talent, and she gets over pretty much anywhere she goes.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Like
she'll be the one to take the belt off of Britt Baker.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, they're going to have to go back to that.
Especially because Britt is now injured again.
Yeah. No, I think it's got to be her or it's got to be Nyla Rose. I know they're not going to go back to Nyla Rose for a little bit.
Right.
But it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose is going to, it's a foregone conclusion. She's going to hold the belt at some point in time.
She already has.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm sorry. She's going to hold the belt again at some point in time. It's like they've got to go back to her. I mean, especially, there's not a massive presence as far as women's wrestling and anybody getting like as physical as she does. There's just nobody else there that does that.
No.
So eventually, it's got to go back to her.
Right.
But still, Thunder Rosa, you're going to get a Thunder Rosa title reign somewhere in there.
Yeah, because she is just so over right now.
Oh, absolutely.
But the big news coming out of AEW Dynamite this week.
What, Domino's?
Yes.
Oh, I know we got a slide for Domino's. Yes. I mean...
So this week, the second labor of Jericho was Chris Jericho bringing back the Painmaker moniker that he made famous over in New Japan to face one of the kings of the death match, Nick Gage.
So can I give the rundown of this whole thing?
Please do.
So we got Nick Gage. If you're familiar with Nick Gage, just probably the best death match wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
Or the most popular deathmatch wrestler in the world at this point. So Nick Gage does Nick Gage things on AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
We're getting the glass, we're getting the pizza cutters, we're getting the whole nine. We get a little spot with the pizza cutter.
Yeah, you can see it behind us.
And we go to picture-in-picture. And, I think you know what's going to happen next year. We're going to a Domino's pizza commercial as the pizza cutter is being used on Jericho's head.
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza did not take kindly to their pizza cutters being used to cut Jericho's forehead and not being used to cut their cardboard pizzas.
Yeah.
So, they had some things to say afterwards.
Well, have you read the latest on this? This is to be taken with a grain of salt, but there is some rumor suggesting that WWE has planted this story or has been kind of poking Domino's a little bit.
Oh, of course they are.
Now, once again, this is just rumor, but I could totally see that being something that they've done.
Oh, of course. And it's freaking illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's likely illegal,
right.
But yeah, I'm almost certain that they've probably been poking the bear, which What do you expect?
Yeah.
But having said that, just the back and forth on Twitter. I mean, we got PBR, Pat's Blue Ribbon got involved in this, which was just hilarious seeing them, kind of back up AEW.
John Moxley saying Domino's needs to calm the F down or something.
Yeah, we had Matt Cardona back in Domino's with the you can't cut me with the pizza cutter. Yeah.
Well, Matt Cardona just recently on Sunday won the GCW, the Game Changing Wrestling heavyweight title from Nick Gage, which if you haven't seen the clip of his win, you need to go look it up. It is like prime ECW. They're throwing stuff at him like that. People would kill for that type of heat.
Yeah. Well, except for Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer. I love Dave, but he's wrong on this one.
Yeah, he was like, it's a disgrace. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Dave.
Let me tell you guys something, because this really bugs me, and it bugs because and I'll sit here and say it. I know this is like cliche, or I know I'm going to this is a bad take. This generation of wrestling fans is soft to this kind of thing when they see it.
Yeah.
And I know you agree with me. But this generation of wrestling fans is soft to this kind of thing. This is called heat.
Yep.
No, you don't want to jump. Like when you see this, like where people are throwing stuff in the ring, this is what heat used to look like.
So
where people were so upset with what they saw that they were pissed to the point where they were throwing stuff. You shouldn't throw stuff into the ring, mind you.
No,
you shouldn't do it. However, as a performer, if somebody is that mad at me and I'm doing my job as a heel, if somebody is that mad at me that they're throwing stuff in the ring, they're that angry, I've done my job.
Right.
There's nothing disgraceful about it. There's not, for everybody out there, there's not good fans and bad fans. You pay your ticket, you pay. No, there's not. I know people are going to disagree with me on that.
There's people that jump the guardrail are bad fans.
Yeah, those are bad fans.
So there we go.
Yeah, because then you're actually going out to physically harm.
Yeah, and that's not a smart move.
Yeah, even throwing stuff in the ring a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little questionable.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. Yeah, if it's one person throwing something in the ring, they're probably getting thrown out. If it's multiple, if it's the entire crowd throwing something, maybe you did your job correctly.
Well, they actually only sold aluminum bottles and plastic bottles because they were afraid that was going to happen.
Well, no, that's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic call.
Right, good for them. And then they had to have the security come and escort Cardona out.
Yeah.
I mean, that heat was nuclear.
No, and that's exactly what you do to invoke a reaction to get fans in your building and to improve business.
Yeah.
This is a tried and true old school wrestling method.
And we've been talking about it now for a week.
Yeah. I mean, people are still talking about this.
And good for GCW.
Yeah.
This has been nothing but good for them. And then to have Nick Gage show up the week before and the week after that happened, the 3 days before, the 3 days after that happened, is great for them. More eyes on their product. Because now you've got granted, it's a lot of... GCW is also the one that does Bloodsport.
Yeah. A great wrestling event.
Yes.
One of my favorites all year.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just so different, and it just feels so fresh that you got to watch it. Brian Carbaugh in the chat here, I see an Avoid the Noid match here in the future. Let me tell you. Let's get the Noid on AEW. Put him in a match with Nick. You know some independent's going to do it. They're going to book Nick Gage against the Noid.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get somebody to do it.
Well, didn't he also do a commercial? You sent us a commercial. Nick Gage.
Oh, he did the chicken.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going to have... I'll have this commercial for you next week.
Yeah. My gosh.
You've got to see this thing. It's the most ridiculous fast food commercial I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Starring Nick Gage hitting people with fluorescent light tubes.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's awesome.
Whoever did it... To the people who produce this commercial,
yeah, kudos to you.
Bravo.
Just good stuff all around there.
MDK all day.
Let's see.
But what else we got here?
So SummerSlam is coming up.
We do got SummerSlam.
We talked about the big match coming to this is
we got Cena versus.
Can we get a different graphic? I can't. There's only one guy on it. Two guys on it.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
John Cena, you can't see him.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I only see two people. on the
LAJ was
graphic.
about to be like, what the? You can't confuse the producers like this.
Well, I only see two people. But anyway, the big Roman Reigns versus John Cena is going to main event SummerSlam. Now, interestingly enough, there's been a bump in ticket sales at all the events that John Cena has been
of course.
booked for. Yeah, of course.
He's a legitimate draw.
Yeah,
he is.
And I'll be honest. I'm kind of happy to see him back.
Yeah,
I don't mind seeing him back in this type of. I suppose we'll probably see him through SummerSlam, maybe through Mania season.
Yeah,
and then after Mania, he'd go away again.
Go away to do a movie, rightfully so.
Right. The other one that's probably going to be coming back around Survivor Series is The Rock.
Yeah,
which I called this. I don't know, about a year and a half ago. I thought the only way to make Roman Reigns the heel was if you were going to put The Rock against him. Like, that's what it's leading to. The whole head of the table, the head of the family stuff. That's obviously going to lead to The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
As it should.
Right.
As it should. And I mean, that is the rightful, logical next step to this whole thing.
Yeah.
It is nice to see some logic in WWE storylines.
Right.
Because it's not always the case.
It's because it's SmackDown. SmackDown is the one that almost always makes logical sense. But
having the whole head of the table gimmick to literally go and face the actual head of the table in that family. I mean, if we're really we're being honest.
Right.
Yeah, it's Rocky and there's no other choice in the matter. I mean,
right.
So having that match, I mean, that's the next logical step after Cena. And if you're going to if you're trying to cement the new cornerstone of your company, this is the way to go. This is the way.
I mean, and he has been doing. This is the best I think we've ever seen Roman Reigns.
Absolutely.
This whole heel, because I think it's how he really feels.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's because this is how he really feels right now.
Yeah, you're getting an authentic version of somebody instead of somebody that you're trying to mold into this character that, like, the top guy has to be an authentic version of himself.
Right.
And I don't think you've seen an authentic Roman Reigns until like this last year.
Yep.
It's it's good to see.
Yeah,
love to see it.
On the other side, it is probably that we are going to get Bobby Lashley
and Goldberg
versus Goldberg.
Well, yeah, we kind of knew that was coming.
I'm so tired of seeing this slow. We haven't seen a good match out of Goldberg in a very, very long time. Every time he is there, it's not good.
No,
I can't say over the last 3 or 4 years. That Goldberg match was good. No, one of the worst matches we've ever seen was him versus The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. And if you haven't seen that match, good. Don't watch it. He knocked himself out like 30 seconds into the match because he did the whole head on the door thing, busted himself open, went out to the ring, did the whole spear into the stupid, Brian Carbaugh, exactly. Dad, you mean like ever? I've never been a Goldberg guy.
Yeah.
Never.
I was a Goldberg guy in 98. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, if you were watching that in 98, if you were watching that build up in 98, there was no way you couldn't be a Goldberg guy.
Sure.
I watched WCW for Kevin Nash mostly, but seeing that whole storyline develop, seeing Diamond Dallas Page kind of arrive that same year, those like Goldberg, Nash, and Diamond Dallas Page were my guys over there.
Mm-hmm.
After, I'll be honest with you, when Nash beat him for the belt, I was like, thank God.
Right.
Because somebody needed to do it. Like you couldn't, I just couldn't believe he could beat Kevin Nash in a real fight.
Right.
So when Nash beat him for the belt, it was like, oh well, thank God. Then you had the finger poke of doom, which sucked. But hey, it is what it is. But then you see him afterwards, and you just kind of see him continually misstep, and then you start hearing the stories about how difficult he is to deal with.
Right.
And then you kind of see all the stuff during his first run in WWE where there were a lot of different things they could have done with him, and he messed it up because he didn't want to do business.
Right.
Or didn't want to do business like they wanted him to do business. And at this point, what else can you do?
Yeah, he doesn't excite me. It's like, why? When your ratings are as low as they are, and, why bring back someone that consistently doesn't put butts in seats?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that.
Right.
Like, we can't really say that he doesn't put butts in seats because the pay-per-views that they've had him back where they've had fans in the crowd, they've had pretty good advances on him because you get those old lapsed fans that remember Goldberg or remember what he used to be, and
but that's
they will
what
come
he used
back.
to be.
Yeah,
that's what they have to understand.
For me and you that have sat through all this BS,
right?
It's not going to get us, but it is like if I'm filling up a stadium and I can't get Brock Lesnar for that Lashley match, the next logical step, the next logical person that you have to go down the line on the depth chart is it's many people might not like it, but you got to fill an 80,000 seat stadium in the middle of the desert.
Right.
And
which now they might have to wear masks at. Did you see that?
Oh, Nevada's making everybody wear masks?
Indoors.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got a roof, so they can just retract that roof.
True. That would be the thing I would think they could probably get away with, but
Yeah.
if they don't indoors, they all have to wear the masks.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got the...
Just a small little tidbit.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I saw that. I just saw that the other day.
Yeah, for the Delta Beta Vi Gamma or
Gamma.
I don't know which variant we're on.
God, don't get. We're not going to talk about it on.
Yeah, really.
As they're not stuck in All Stars move the needle. Yeah, Jason Barnhart. Yeah, I get that. I just you see. I think right now, it's one of those things where sure. AEW is bringing in these two guys who have been around for a while. One guy hasn't been in a wrestling ring and officially in 7 years. The other is one of the hottest free agents in all of wrestling right now. But at least they can still perform, and at least they can still go in the ring and talk. Goldberg can't really do either.
Yeah.
He just, it's like, okay, AEW is bringing in this new talent and this or newer talent and these old WWE, these former, I'm not going to say old, I'm going to say former WWE guys. Whereas WWE is like, oh, how do we combat this? Let's bring in Goldberg. It's like, what's stupid is because he's contractually obligated to 3 matches a year, and it's always consistently a freaking
tentpole event.
Tentpole event. It's always for the stupid title. Don't put him in the title picture. I don't care. I think that would be what. Yeah, calm down. Yeah, what? I think that would be the thing if they would put him in just a match with someone, I would be less upset.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's for the WWE Universal title every single time, he is not the most logical next opponent for Lashley. Sorry, figure out someone else. But he hasn't been around for the last match he had, he lost. And the match before that, he lost. And the match before that, he lost. So why do we keep he's going to lose. He is going to lose.
Yeah. And like here's the thing, I'm going to counterpoint this a little bit. Like I get putting him in the match. It's like something we have to sit through because we couldn't get Brock Lesnar signed up for this thing. A shit sandwich of a situation, but like the only other person you could have put in that match and it wouldn't have been anywhere near as big on the marquee as Braun Strowman.
Right.
And because I know he's likely about to come back.
Who also beat Goldberg.
Yes.
The guy hasn't. I couldn't tell you the last time. Maybe someone in the chat can. I don't know how long it's been since he had a win in WWE.
Yeah.
He would have had to have won the champion. Did he win the championship, or was it just a match for the championship? Because remember, Reigns had the championship and left or something, or Braun had it. I don't remember, but I don't want to see the guy. I have zero interest.
I have zero interest in seeing Goldberg too. Like I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to seeing a Goldberg Bobby Lashley match. I was really looking forward to seeing Bobby Lashley and Lesnar
8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
No, maybe in Lashley's original run.
I feel like they're beating a dead horse.
Right,
but with some of the other stuff, I really like what they're doing with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of, I don't know, started to save the whole Alexa Bliss thing. They've,
right.
Even though the rest of the women's division is like a dumpster fire right now.
Right. Well, Sasha Banks did return this week.
Oh.
And her. Get the hell out of here. This is the one take that you have that I think you're consistently wrong about. But
Charlotte's better.
I'm not saying that she's not better. I'm saying that Sasha Banks is one of the best women wrestlers today.
She's one of the best women's wrestlers today. I just don't agree because there's people that will sit there and say she needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. I'm just like, no.
And I think the problem with Charlotte, while she is one of the best, I am so tired of her getting shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Roman Reigns thing all over.
Oh,
again.
I know, and they're doing it to troll. You know why they're doing it to troll the audience because that's what they do.
Like
they think trolling is heat. It's not. It's just annoying.
She beat Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank, which I was not happy about. But I think the thing that made me upset about it was such poor booking leading to it.
Yeah.
No one played the heel. No one played the face. No one really cared. Like, I'm sorry, but the next person who needs to hold both title, needs to hold that title, needs to be Becky Lynch. If you want to salvage the women's division on Raw, Becky Lynch is the person who you need to bring back and put the title on.
No, they'll put somebody else under some goofy gimmick and then just make them champ. Oh, she's champion now.
Oh, Nikki Ash, which, you know what? Good for her. Because she has created a character. She has brought it to Vince. She's done it. She won the title. Good for her. I like Nikki as a performer.
Yeah.
She's really good. I hate the gimmick. And apparently the gimmick is not getting over in live audiences at all. So I think it's gonna be a short reign. I also hate how she already cashed it in.
Well, it was doomed from the beginning because, I mean, it was like, just last month that she created the gimmick.
Right.
So she creates this gimmick in a month, and then all of a sudden she's supposed to be the standard bearer of the women's division.
She should not have won. I like her. I think
you
she
killed
should not have won the title, the Money in the Bank. She should not have cashed it in that quick.
You killed the character development.
Right. I don't understand why, as of late, they're cashing in these Money in the Banks so soon. That is a creative tool that could have been used on Raw for months. Instead, it's gone already. The only one, Big E's got his.
No, use your tools to your advantage.
Right. And that's not it.
And I mean, honestly, I think the biggest problem there is Vince.
Oh yeah.
I just think he just does things to do things because he's like, oh, I'm not going to lose any money.
Right.
Yeah, I'll blast more content out there. They're worried about quantity of content right now than quality. Of content, which that will bite you after a while.
Yeah,
it will.
Gail Kim won the title, but that's different. You know who else won the title? Paige. She won it her first night. That's different. Those were fleshed. That was completely different. This character, the way they did it, the booking. It's not been good. If they were going to do that, if she was going to win the title on her first night, she should have won the title on her first night. She shouldn't, because then it would have proved that she is good enough to win the title on her first night. Instead, she had to have the Money in the Bank to win that title. It kind of cheapens it. It makes it doesn't flow. It's not how it should have been done. And the person who they need Becky Lynch back on that show to salvage that women's division because they screwed Rhea Ripley with the booking of her. They absolutely have no idea what to do with her, which is unfortunate because she was a monster in NXT in NXT UK. I mean, an absolute monster, and she's incredible in the ring, and she is one of the most built athletic women in that division.
Yeah. Like it always surprises me just the presence.
Yeah.
Like, just her presence on television. Like it surprises the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like how
massive she is. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can tell she is.
And you know who else loves her?
Who?
Is Jim Cornette, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
That is absolutely saying something.
He loves Rhea Ripley, which is huge.
Yeah.
You know, so that division needs someone besides Charlotte, which I think is going to be Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
The SmackDown Women's division is a little better. They've got Carmella. They've got Zelina Vega, who is coming back.
Yeah.
You know, they've got Liv Morgan on that show, I believe, who is also making a good, steady pace in that organization. Then you've got Bianca Belair, who is incredible, and Sasha Banks, who is, I believe that's going to be another match at SummerSlam. Right now, there are 3 good matches on SummerSlam. Oh, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, I think, is going to be at SummerSlam, which should be a good match. You know, I think it's going to be a good card, besides the whole Goldberg thing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I mean, we'll like the Goldberg thing. If that's the only thing we've got to worry about,
right?
Like, honestly, I think SummerSlam is going to be a good pay-per-view,
right?
And I know we bash WWE here a lot, which we kind of have to get away from. Some, you know, there are WWE fans out there. However, I think it's going to be a good SummerSlam. Usually, the stadium shows, they are pretty good about.
Right. I think my problem with WWE is not the shows for the most part. Raw is not good. It is the way it is run and the way it is booked.
Yeah.
Like the whole Vince basically burying NXT.
Yeah.
By having Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy in like 5 minutes. That was a message being sent. Not a good one, because I'm sorry, NXT, and I think it's because he knows this. I think because he knows NXT is better than their top show, which is Raw.
Well, there's also, he put NXT up on Wednesday nights, and they failed miserably because, I'm sorry, that was going to happen.
Right.
It's not because it's a bad product.
No.
It's you're putting 2 good products together, and you've got one product that's outside of the WWE system.
Yep.
People are going to watch that because they can go back and watch the WWE product whenever they want on the network.
Yep.
Like,
well, on Peacock, which is a dumpster fire of a. The Peacock is a dumpster fire of of an app. Oh, it's horrible.
I will never. I still have not. I still have not purchased it, and I will never.
I had to. It's it's got WWE. It's got The Office. It's got a lot of shows on it I like. Problem is, it is just abysmal. It works maybe half the time. The Money in the Bank issues people were having.
So it's like Goldberg. It works half the time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, we also got I'm going to make a quick blurb about this.
Please do.
We'll do something a little bit more in-depth next week. ATCW's coming up with that big 6-man tag.
Yep. Yeah. That's coming up.
They got that big 6-man tag coming up. I know, Chucky Manson,
Saturday,
Shorty
right?
Smalls, Deuce Donatelli
Yep.
against the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew. And, after the way they got busted open the month before,
it's going to be a good show.
It's going to be a good show.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath. Yeah, I would not want to be in the ring with those men.
No.
Ever. When they're pissed off.
Yeah.
And the Mid-Atlantic Wrecking Crew, they're going to have they're going to have some shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
August 7th
next week. The week after that is ACW here in Hagerstown.
Yeah, we got ACW here in Hagerstown. We've got former WWE superstar Victoria coming in. We've got James Ellsworth. We've also got Grim and Doo-Hop from Grim's Toy Show. But last but certainly not least, we're making an announcement about a talent here today. Yes.
Yeah, 1 second.
There we go. So we're making an announcement about a talent here today for the Voltage Wrestling event on September 18th, Great Vengeance and Furious Anger. We've got the 2021 Super 8 winner, the Shamrock Shooter, Killian McMurphy, He is going to be in action. This is the first talent announcement we have made about September 18th. There's going to be many more.
Right.
We've got a stacked lineup of some of the, and when I say the very best, I mean the absolute very best indie talents on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that as a silly little tagline. I'm saying the lineup that we bring in that weekend is going to be one of our very best.
Yeah.
And I believe after that very first Voltage event that happened, I believe that's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. But not to, we've got September 18th.
We got August 28th.
August 28th, guys. You have, that's our makeup for the July 17th show that got stormed out. Also going to be a big show. And I tell you, me and Mike and Kyle have sat down. We've talked about. There have been some changes. There are going to be some surprises. It's not one of those things like, oh, I don't want to go to the August 28th because I'm going to the 18th one. No, you do not want to miss either show.
And
we're kind of looking at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's going to be some stuff coming out this week. I'm going to make it easy to attend both of these shows because we know everybody's got their budgets. But I'm going to make it very easy for you to attend both of these shows without breaking the bank. So if you haven't bought tickets to either one,
incentive coming
yes, there's going to be a little bit of an incentive to buy said tickets coming up this week. There's going to be some more talent announced this week. Some talents that have been here locally in the area before that have gone on to make names for themselves. We've got some talents that are coming in for the very first time. We've got talents that are returning from the very first Voltage event.
Yep.
But needless to say, this event, these next two events for that matter, there's going to be some surprises on August 28th.
Yep.
We've got the Corey Bush versus Sickened title match that is still on.
Yep. We've got
the switch up. Yeah,
yep,
the switch up with Nunzio. Nunzio will be going one-on-one with Max Morrison, the Wild-Eyed Headbanger. That is going to be a barn burner, I guarantee you. We've also got a couple more surprises. I've been hearing from Jacob Edwin this week.
Oh, yeah?
His partner's coming. His partner,
finally.
He finally has picked a partner. His partner is coming to Voltage Wrestling on this August 28th show.
Ooh. That'll be cool. I'm excited.
I have a feeling I know who it is already.
I don't know. I'm
not going to, I think everybody else does too, but needless to say,
they might be a force to be reckoned with in the tag team division.
The tag titles, we're going to be starting to talk about those, how we're going to crown tag team champions here shortly. However, August 28th, he's coming. Captain D says he's delivering on his surprise that he's been alluding to for several months. He's going to be delivering that surprise on August 28th.
It's going to be a good show.
There's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
A lot of what ifs that are going to happen.
Because whatever happens on the 28th is definitely going to impact whatever happens on the 18th.
Absolutely.
It's going to impact it 100%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what happens with these.
Yeah,
just what happens with all these volatile personalities on the 28th.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got Captain D. Captain D's been telling me he's had my number for months.
I feel like it's definitely going to lead to the title of the 18th show, Great Vengeance and Furious Anger. It's going to live up to that name.
Yeah. Yeah, from the sounds of things,
Yeah.
It's going to live up to that name, but September 18th, we'll be back at this is probably this is our last outdoor show for the year, September 18th.
Yeah.
August 28th, September 18th.
Yep. Bad Habits on the 28th, O'Connell's Irish Pub on the 18th.
Yep. It's going to be a double whammy, and we're gonna end the summer right.
Yeah.
We're going to end the summer going into fall right, and then after that it is we're going to be going inside for a little bit.
Yep.
And we'll have some. We're going to have some huge announcements over the next month and a half on our first indoor event.
Mm-hmm.
Some huge announcements, and the ramifications of those announcements are going to be huge.
Yeah,
it's going to be huge. I know it. You know it. Everybody's been telling me it's going to be huge. So,
but. I think that about does it, Mike.
I think that about does it for us too. We've gone through. Man, there's been a whole mess of wrestling news this week.
Yeah.
Including the stuff with Voltage.
Right.
Yes, like we're all over the place this week. A great first talent for September 18th and Killian McMurphy being announced. There's going to be some announcements coming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as far as other talent and other people you can look forward to seeing on these next two events.
Mm-hmm.
But that about does it for
Yes, sir.
myself, for Rennes the Menace, for everybody in the chat, Mike Fox, Brian Carbaugh, Big Daddy C. I am Mike Ratick. We will see you next time. Same podcast channel.
This is the Podcast Pit, brought to you by Ben Media.